Hello. Testing for hearing. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, this is intense. I don't have anything plugged in that would be creating an issue. Yes, you can hear me? Yeah, yay! Okay. I have had that happen before where I've had like my equipment, my good microphone plugged in, but then I unplug it. And even if it's shown, like I switch it back to my computer speakers, it just for whatever, or microphone, it just gets stuck on some setting or something. And apparently that's what happened. So I apologize for that. I'll give people, setups can be transitory, yeah. Tap on my computer. Yes. Oh, you tapped through it. I'm glad that you did. I didn't. I just panicked. But I can tap about it now. Thank goodness. Okay, well, I'm going to give people just a minute to filter back in to this live. Yay, I'm glad you found it, Lauren. I hope that people don't get stuck on the other one. I guess if they do, they'll just be a few minutes behind and they'll figure it out if they're watching the the chat, because it definitely tells the story of looking for this live. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and jump into, I have one community member that wrote in, and I'll just explain that while people come find us, and then we'll get to tapping for today. Okay. I'm going to tap just a moment while I talk, so I can just get grounded a little bit in this space to even do this, and then we'll get grounded all together. All right, so the community member who wrote in is asking about feeling safe when they are exposed to an environment that wasn't safe for them as a child. So for them in particular, it has to do with they're in a transition phase in their life. They're back at their childhood home for a few months, and they don't have like a specific range of time for it. They mentioned that there was trauma that happened in this home. I don't know what kind, but I think that's fairly relatable, you know, of just overwhelm. It doesn't have to be something that like someone could have gotten arrested for, right? There are a lot of ways that being in an old environment, that when you were there before, you didn't have choice. You didn't have someone supporting you. You didn't have someone seeing you. That going back to that place brings up a lot of things that may or may not have been addressed at all yet. And our community member was saying this is affecting them by they're having an increase in panic attacks, anxiety overall. And they were asking, you know, I have to be in this environment. How can I feel more safe while I'm here? Well, I obviously have years of things to filter through. And I love this question because I don't know that it's something that we always think to ask, right? Of can I receive the benefit of what I'm looking for before I clear out the pathway that we typically think of when we get there, right? Like I build the thing and then I have the thing and now I get to receive the thing. But what if you're needing the way that that feels to even cope with where you are? And the way I approach this has a lot of creativity involved. So if it doesn't quite fit for you, I hope what it does is it at least gives you a perspective that you can utilize. And it is something that we will tap on, but it deserves a little bit of an explanation for setup, because I want you to take it and make it your own rather than necessarily completely follow what I'm doing. And it's all surrounding the box technique, which the box technique is using dissociation for your own empowerment. So we are purposefully putting space between us and whatever it is that's affecting us. Now, sometimes we can't do that physically. So we do it in other ways that we can find. When there is something, particularly in our past, that still affects us, it is alive in here, right? And maybe back when it happened, we didn't have control over the way things laid out, but we can now. And giving ourselves permission to deal with that in whatever way works for us is really important. It could be you go back in time and you rampage, everybody but yourself. It could be you go back in time and you rescue yourself and you bring yourself back to this present time before anything happens. You sever that part of your timeline and it just doesn't exist anymore. One thing that I have done both in the past and in present day, so I would go back into the past and empower myself with like magical items. So like a wand or a magic sword, or I love fantasy. I get a lot of enjoyment out of thinking of like magical realms and whatnot. So giving myself permission to apply that to things that are still alive in my head made it not just empowering, but really interesting. It brought different emotions into it that felt good to add. Present day, I've done the same thing. There was a period of time where I really needed to be more assertive and I was scared in what I was facing. So I imagined myself having a giant scorpion tail because I was like, who's going to mess with a person who has a giant scorpion tail? And it worked. It gave me like a borrowed confidence that I didn't have without this imaginary tail. Now, I knew I didn't really have a tail. So it's not the same thing as being like delusional. So if that's a fear of yours, it's okay for you to know logically this is not here. But emotionally, I am allowing myself to receive this as if I. Okay, so now you have the premise. We will tap on that. I'm going to check the chat. I did see that I am being heard now. My audio is here. So let me see. I'm so glad. Okay, YouTube moved on to the next video. I came back home again, chilling out, understandably. Okay, Marie. Okay, good. You can relate. Reopen wounds, always traumatic. Yes. Dr. Scott, I have many blank spots around traumatic events that I can remember. Would like to address those that I can't. I appreciate that. Yes. And I love that too, because not only is it applicable for things that we can't remember, but allowing things to be healed without understanding them. Because there are so many times that we can maybe recall something and we're like, why does that make me so angry? Or why am I so sad? And, when I think about being 4 or something, and we try to gain understanding and kind of make that a gateway for our healing. So releasing that as well and saying, oh no, I can heal even if I don't know it completely. So thank you for that suggestion. Falala, thank you. I'm going to say it again. Favorite day of the week. Petitioning the government to officially rename Tuesday Tapping Tuesday. That would be amazing. Oh my gosh. We would all be so much healthier if everybody did this. Mama Hutch, I traveled 5 hours by car to visit the U.S. Navy, Virginia Beach. I met someone every day that knew my son. Oh, and restaurant, boardwalk, air show. The joy I felt after almost 9 years ago, he passed. Now in pain. And that's the last thing I see, Mama Hutch. So it sounds like it was a positive thing, but maybe now it you're feeling other feelings. So give me a little bit more for that, if that's okay, because I want to know how to assist you with that. Oh, physically difficult. Okay, just from all of the movement, I'm assuming. Yeah, but you did it. Yeah, okay. So a physical tap could be good for you. Alrighty, well, let's get grounded. So I just now had an idea. So let's see how this might work for you. I know it's because of how I'm feeling in my body right now. But I want you to take what you're feeling in your body right now and imagine it as movement. What does that movement look like? For me, it's kind of like a cyclone. Like I've got almost like a tornado or a hurricane of energy because I had that panic moment of, oh my gosh, people can't hear me. I don't know how to fix this. That got me a little bit scattered. So now my energy feels like it's moving fast. It's a little chaotic. And so that's kind of the picture of what I have. Well, what does your energy feel like right now? It could be like a smooth flowing stream. It could be a soft breeze. It could be something that's still and stagnant. Maybe it's like heavy, when you walk into a room and the air is just heavy, maybe like it's thick. But come up with a description, maybe of something that you experience in nature of where your energy is right now. And it can be positive, negative, or neutral, just whatever feels true for you. And let's take a breath. And now what we're going to do is to choose something that will allow it to reach a balanced state. So for me, I'm going to choose a way for this kind of cyclone of energy that I'm seeing to calm and relax. And what I'm seeing is just kind of like an alternate whoosh of air that's just going to kind of cancel out this cyclone that I'm feeling. And notice where in your body you're feeling this definition of your energy. And what is it that you can add to your energy to help it reach a more neutral state? Whether it's, I need sunshine to come in, I need a breeze to come in and clear it out, I need to raise the temperature, I need to lower the temperature. Choose another aspect that will just allow your energy to kind of mellow out. And let's take a breath here. And give your body permission to continue to incorporate these different flows for your energy, to allow it to continue to sync with balance, to allow it to feel more free, to let your air flow easier, to allow your body, your energies to settle and feel them settling all through your body. So feel that stillness. Once you are reaching that balance, just kind of flow through your body and allow it to really connect with the ground. And notice an ease to the quietness that your body is beginning to achieve. And ease to the flow of your breath. And notice a quietness that is happening in your mind and in the signals that your body is sending around. And let's take another breath. Okay. How did that work? Do you feel more present? Do you feel more grounded? Do you feel more neutral in your body and in your mind? I'll set a quick intention. I know that we're running on time, so I'm going to do this very quickly. You can join me if you'd like. It is my intention that as we have this tapping session together, that our community feels the connection that is being offered and received throughout space and time. That although we're around the world, we are gathered together, and there is real value and real strength in that, and that we add value by being here, by showing up as our authentic selves, by showing up with what we're struggling with, by showing up in our curiosity and seeking support from each other, that we are seen and that we understand that we are not alone. And it's my intention that as we tap together, you feel better by the time that we're through. And let's take one more breath. Okay, I'm going to check the chat. Okay, Joy, feeling financial crunch. Thank you for that. And D, can I do it safely? Breastfeeding. Okay. D, I see you in this. And that's something, there's so many emotions that are wrapped around breastfeeding. And, not knowing if you have like a specific health concern, if it's something that you're just nervous about, that maybe your baby's not even born yet, or if it's concerned, maybe not with your body, with their body. There are so many ways that this can be applicable. And as a wider view on this, just any health concern, right? Can I go on a diet safely? Can I start this exercise routine safely? Can I pick up this hobby in a safe way? Can I move forward with this thing that's really meaningful to me, that would be really beneficial, or it's supposed to be beneficial if I engage it, but can I do it in a way that's safe? Okay, thank you for answering. Do you know specific concerns? Baby is 12 weeks and healthy. Oh, good, yay. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Whew. Being a mama myself, I don't know, I tend to be, I can get big on my concerns. So I appreciate that. And that's another thing that I think we can tie into physical body. Marie, heavy, pit, pain in neck and shoulder blades. Okay, so physical body, good. I love that we're wanting physical body support today. Tanya, hey, I'm glad you're here. Tech issues too, okay. I'm glad you made it. Mama Hutch, breathing into my heart relaxes my stomach. Ooh, I love that. Very nice. I love that you have that connection. Trisha, lots of emotions bubbling around inside, mainly between solar plexus and throat. Okay, so maybe outward expression, solar plexus being sense of self, a self outside of the connection to everyone and everything. Mama Hutch, you feel more relaxed. That's good. You're very welcome, Dee. Fatigue. Thank you, Joan. Back to the box. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's just make that our first tap, and I will give just a touch more instruction on that. And hi, Karen. Glad you're here. We'll do physical body second, because I actually think this angle on the box technique could be helpful even with that. So just kind of an overview of what I mean by the box technique. I know I've already said some stuff. I'm going to just recap. The box technique is one of the clinical validated EFT techniques. So this has been clinically studied, scientifically proven to be effective. Essentially what it is creating space using dissociative terms from whatever it is that's ailing you. So whether you're feeling overwhelmed by it, like I can't tap on this, it's too big, like it's bigger than I am. I'm still so hopeless when I address it. If it's something that's just overwhelming, like in this moment, it's too loud. My emotions are too big. It's too scary. I can't even think about it. If it's a present day issue that you're having, I need to be able to speak out, but I can't find my voice. Every time I try, I'm stuck with this. You can use it so that moment isn't as overwhelming. There's a lot of creativity you can use here. Some of the options to create that space is to have something that makes you feel more confident or aggressive. And I don't mean aggressive like, yeah, now I can punch people. That's not what we're doing. but aggressive meaning more like assertive. A lot of times, if we have a history of being squished and smashed, more specifically emotionally, or being a people pleaser, it can feel like we're being aggressive. If really, in truth, we're just learning how to be assertive and how to have a voice, even if it displeases someone else for us to have one. And allowing yourself to, you know what, I've got spikes all along my back, and I've got these spiky gloves on, and I've got these glowy eyes, and I'm 3 feet taller. Whatever it is in your mind, and so however you see yourself in your mind's eye, that energy is going to integrate with the way that you show up. Okay. You can see yourself with armor on, something like a barrier, a shield that absorbs, like maybe the stuff comes at you, but it's neutralized because it goes through this like layer of energy, that so it doesn't penetrate down into you and like affect you. You can go back in time and give yourself tools that you didn't actually have at that time. Doesn't matter, because where it exists now is with you. The only place it's still alive is with you. So you can alter it in whatever way you want. You can go back and give yourself a pet dragon. You can give yourself a magic sword. You can give yourself like X-Men type powers. Give yourself permission to be playful with this, even if the situation itself, not playful. Very serious, very hurtful, very scary. But what you are offering yourself with this technique is the ability to make it less of that. So whether it's through humor or giving yourself something epic where you feel bigger, you make it smaller. You shrink it with some sort of tech, whatever works for your brain. Okay, so that is the box technique. You can send it to another dimension. You can send it to another planet, and we've used that in live sessions before. The way I'm going to approach it now is more giving yourself tools or special items that maybe you didn't have at that time. You can even give yourself you. You can go back in time and talk to yourself as who you are now. And that's a really potent one to do as well. It doesn't have to be something fantasy. That's just the way I lean. Because then there's like, I'm not bound by any sort of rules if I allow it to be something fantasy based. So for the tap, I'll check just to make sure no one's asked questions about this, to allow myself the space. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Samantha. The camera's down here. I'm really glad that you're here. D, by the way, this video can be saved. Have to go to bed. Yes, this video will be on our channel under the playlist Tapping Tuesday. So you can find it there. Oh, and Zarina already said yes, and sweet dreams. Okay. So go ahead and for this tap, bring to mind something, whether it's past, present, or a future thing that you know that you're coming up to, that you just know you're going to choke. It's something that you've already experienced the disappointment. You're currently experiencing the disappointment, or you can already just see yourself like, oh, yep, I know that's not going to come out the way I want. For me, there's a singing audition that I have on Thursday, and I just always over control my voice and do poorly. And then I have a fear that even if I do well in the audition, I'm going to flub it in the performance anyway. So better for me to just mess it up and get it over with. And that's been a really hard thing for me to release. So even if there's logical approaches, but you have this underlying feeling, anything having to do with that. And go ahead and start tapping while you're getting zeroed in on that. And it can be in any space in your body, any space in your mind, any goal that you have. I'm going to use the language of this thing that's bigger than me, this thing that's bigger than I am. Okay, so that way you can attribute whatever emotion you would like to it. As I consider this moment in my life that is bigger than I am and has an outcome that I don't want, but I can't change that because it's bigger than me. I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I have all of these emotions wrapped around this really big thing in my life, because I want it to be different, but I'm not big enough to change it. Even though I don't know how to overcome this thing that's so big, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. This thing in my life, this overwhelming thing, this very large, overbearing thing that I can't overcome. I wonder, I can't overcome it. I don't see how I can overcome it right now by myself. But I wonder if I had help. If I had help, could I overcome it? No, even then, it's just too big. Even if there is a part of me that feels like it's utterly hopeless, I choose to hold space and be curious about this. Because what if? What if I could? What if I could? What if? If I could find a way to be bigger, stronger, more powerful, more smart, more capable, more intelligent, more valiant, more resistant, more successful over this thing in my life. I am open to discovering that way. I am open to finding out that that's true. I wonder, what does that look like? What would I need for this outcome to shift? Well, maybe it would have to be something really big and something really powerful. Maybe it's something that immediately gives me confidence, that immediately gives me more hope, that immediately I say, oh, yeah, no, that changes things. But I wonder, what could that be? So now I want you to consider multiple things. And I'm not really going to throw out suggestions because I don't want to distract you from what you're coming up with. But start offering yourself things, whether it's people, animals, tools, weapons, some sort of protective field or armor, some sort of magical potion that gives you a special ability, some sort of spiritual being that appears to you. Allow yourself to explore and receive multiple answers. You can layer this. You don't have to choose one. And as you find something that feels good, apply it. See yourself with it. And see it with all of your sensory organs. Notice color, shape, weight, texture, sound, smell, taste. I know taste is a weird one, but if you tasted it, what would it taste like? And give yourself a space if it fits. It's like a training room, a place where you can gain skill and confidence. As I begin to apply this creativity, maybe it feels really good. Maybe it feels weird and silly. Maybe I'm struggling to apply anything at all. Whether this is really easy for me or something that's a little more difficult, I hold space to find a way for me to receive this creative solution. Because isn't it true that while I cannot control every aspect of everything that happens outside of my body and in my outer environment, it is true that I do have the ability to affect my inner environment and to support myself in creative ways. Okay, but why? And what does this actually do? Well, maybe it gives me relief. Maybe it gives me space in my brain to stop panicking, to stop feeling so overwhelmed, and allows me to access my critical thinking, and allows me to access other emotions that will help. And even though I may be picturing something that physically, literally, isn't possible, isn't it true that if it has a positive effect on my mind and my body, that is a physical outcome that is helpful for me to have. This big thing. This big thing that I'm facing. This big thing I'm facing in my life. My choices with this big thing. My power with this big thing. My creativity with this big thing. My relief. My confidence. My literal outcome. My mind. My body. And even though I recognize that there are aspects of this that I cannot change, I fully give myself permission to change everything that I can and to change it in ways that feel good to me, that feel supportive to me, that feel possible for me. And I allow myself to feel really good for trying out tools that offer support to myself. It's already been hard. Maybe it's okay to receive a tool and a process that makes it easier. And as I give this creativity a chance, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause and take a breath. Well done. So now take one moment and just think back to what you chose to focus on. And do you feel better? Do you feel stronger? Were you able to come up with something? Even if you couldn't come up with something, do you still feel a little bit of space or disconnect? Is it smaller? Does it feel more possible? Even if you're like, I don't know why though, that's still a good sign that your brain has said, oh yeah, I think maybe we can make this not such a big deal. And now it's going to continue to work on that, even when you're not thinking about it. So good job. Okay, I want to jump right into the next one. Oh, Zarina, thank you for that suggestion. Oh, Marie, thank you. Oh, yay, Nick. I haven't heard of that. I will look that up. Thank you for letting me know about it. The Ring of Power anchor. Let's do physical body. Yay, Samantha. I love that you found some superpowers. That makes me so happy. If any of you want to email me or just comment, at another time in the chat how it's worked for you, I would love to know the outcome because it's one of my favorite things to play with. Because it really, I don't know, I think it plays into something that's, it feels something from childhood, right? When creativity was maybe a little bit more loud, maybe not for everybody. But it is now. Now we get to be creative as we want. Okay, let's tap. For physical body. Okay. And just so you know, I will probably go over about 5 minutes or so. I would go over more to make up time, but I can't. I've got to go grab my daughter, and she's got a physical therapy appointment. But I can give you 5 minutes more, and we'll definitely do that. For physical body, I'm going to say I have this concern. And I don't think we've quite tapped on the physical body from this point of view. And the point of view that I'm going to direct right now, which if the wording doesn't fit for you, please change it. It's more like there's something wrong. Like my body is broken. It needs to be fixed. Why can't it not hurt? It's so, it worries me. And all of those words are legit. Absolutely, in certain circumstances. But sometimes we can get caught there, right? And then it's like this easy negativity that we feel towards our body. So we're going to kind of tap a little perspective on that and then releasing. Okay. So go ahead and zero in on your physical body. If you want it to be an overall thing, like maybe you have fibromyalgia and you've got a rough day, or your knees really bothering you, you've got a headache. I know there's shoulder tension was mentioned. Even the breastfeeding concern. This will be a great tap for that. Okay. As I choose to focus in on my physical body, I am aware of these concerns. Even though I currently have concerns about my physical body, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I may have a lot of feelings and thoughts surrounding these concerns of my physical body, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even if I don't really want to, and I'm saying it because I'm being led to say it, but I don't really feel it or believe it, I will still hold space to try to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. But it's hard. It's hard to, because this body, this flippin' body, I just really want it to be different. I would really like for this concern to resolve. And maybe that's possible. And maybe it doesn't really feel possible. But whether or not this concern going away is possible, I wonder, would that change how I feel about my body? Or would it just get replaced by something else? Would I then have a new concern? Would I then have a new gripe? Would I be feeling negatively about something else with my body? Will my body ever be perfect enough for me to be satisfied with it? Even if I don't think my body will ever be good enough to meet my expectations, I deeply and completely accept myself. Wow, that's so heavy. Why is that so heavy? Why do I have that perspective? Why do I feel so justified in being so negative about my body. Yes, it has things wrong with it. And yes, that affects what my spirit, my soul, my intelligence, my consciousness, it affects what I want to do. It does get in the way. But isn't it true that having this body in the first place is how I do anything at all? Isn't it because of this body that I can see, that I can hear, that I can taste and touch and smell? I can hug, that I can speak and connect, that I can learn, that I can laugh. This body does a lot of positive things too. So I wonder, why am I so focused on the negative? Am I focused on the negative? Even if I don't really believe I do focus on the negative of my body, I give myself permission to explore this line of thinking right now. I wonder, is it possible for me to feel better about my body and for me to feel better in my body just by shifting my approach? Maybe. Probably not. But maybe. Well, what would shifting my approach even look like? What does that mean? Maybe it means when I have a negative experience with my body, instead of treating it with negative energy and speaking negative words and feeling negative thoughts, I do my best to offer it compassion or love or understanding. Maybe I just ask questions. Okay, but what does that even do? Maybe that will help me to see my body as something that could use support. And maybe my brain will then activate in a different way and help me to see my options for support. Because I know what this problem feels like. I know what this concern is. I don't need more help with the concern. So I wonder if I instead were to feel gratitude for my body, could I start to see ways to approach my concern that would at least give me some relief and maybe at most resolve it completely? Yeah, sure, that's possible. No, that's not possible at all. Whether I feel it is or isn't possible, or both at the same time, I hold space to give it a try because this is very easy. And if it works out, I give myself permission to be pleasantly surprised. Because isn't it true that it would be really great to have any amount of help in resolving this concern? And isn't it true that my brain is very aware of this concern? And by offering it a different way to look at it, I just might find something that right now I'm missing. This concern, this physical concern in my body. Support for my body. Compassion for my body. Love for my body. Hope for my body. Conversation for my body. Belief for my body. Collaboration for my body. And as I allow myself to feel happy about all of the things that my body does right, and hold space to figure out how to support it to do even more things right, I deeply and completely accept myself. Pause and take a breath. Alrighty, so take just a moment, think about what you chose. How does that feel now? Did you have an aha moment of, oh, I never thought about how I was blaming my body for things, or how I am so negative towards it, and maybe punish my body because it's not perfect all the time, and that's not really a fair place to hold my body. And maybe if I don't try to hold it to perfection, things will be easier. Feeling lighter, feeling aha moments, even just feeling like a calmness or an openness in your body that isn't connected to words, are all signs that your subconscious brain said, yeah, I like this. Let's wire beliefs this way. And it will continue to move and support in that direction. So good job. All right, we have 3 minutes before I have to take off. It's really not enough time. Oh, good. I'm glad that worked for many of you. Let's just do a quick closing tap. Let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna tap here. As this tapping session comes to an end, I allow myself to connect with all of the positivity that I've achieved in this short amount of time. I allow myself to feel the flow of connection, of celebration from my community for the positivity that they've been able to accomplish during this tap. I allow myself to recognize the power that has happened in this short amount of time, and that it's made a literal difference. It's made a physical difference for me. It's made a physical difference for my other community members. It's made an emotional difference. And that's going to continue to spiral out because our brains have upgraded to different thoughts and are supporting different actions. I acknowledge the beauty of this. I acknowledge the excitement of this. And even if the shift at this point feels small or medium or big, I have confidence that it is going to continue to grow in me and to grow in others who are here and others who get to watch this afterwards. I am a part of this positivity, and I allow myself to feel how good that feels. And I give myself permission to take it with me, to take this positivity, this connection, and allow it to be a part of the rest of my day, the rest of my week, even throughout the rest of my lifetime. And as I allow these beautiful positive vibrations to integrate into me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, one more breath. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And thank you so much for sticking with me through the sound debacle. I'm so glad that we found each other again and that we were able to have this session. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and reach out to me if you have questions, if you have something that you want to contribute either here or as a question that I answer in the Friday videos that I make. I love you. I think about you. I believe in you, and I am here for you. And I got to run. So I'll see you soon. Take care. Mwah.